Hello everyone, Serenity here. I want to welcome you to Down Home Crypto. Now today, I've got a really exciting business that's looking to solve a problem that exists for many people in the world most of us aren't even aware of. How are they going to do it? They're going to revolutionize the financial system as we know it by using diamonds. Yeah, the most precious gem on the planet. And I'll tell you all about it in this video. But first, if you would, please do me a huge favor. Take a moment, like this video, subscribe to the channel, and click that bell notification alerted every time I upload a new video, because some of this information can be time sensitive. Most importantly, as always, please go out and talk to a friend, a coworker, a family member. Let them know they're not trapped in that dead-end job for the rest of their life. There is a better way. And they don't have to be college educated or tech savvy or rich. They simply have to have the desire to change their life and the courage to follow that dream. And they too can join us on this great crypto adventure. So without further ado, let's go learn about Diamondback. Now, before we begin, I want to share with you, this is a sponsored video. I will always give my honest opinion and my perceptions. I'll let you know the goods, the bads, but this is not financial advice. Only you can decide if this is a project that's right for you. So do your own diligence, do your own research, and never listen to me or anybody else in this space. Always decide for yourself what's the best fit for you. Now, whenever I go into a new project, there's always three critical questions I always ask. The what, the who, and the why. What is this project bringing to the world that it can utilize? Who are these people behind the project and can we trust them? And why is this project a good fit for me? Those are what I'm looking for, and that's what we're going to dig into today to try to get the answers for you as well. So starting on the website, the first place I want to visit is I want to understand the vision and the mission behind this project. So it says, our mission is to create a bridge between digital fiat currency, a token that has real world value, available globally in digital and physical marketplaces for everyone's use, regardless of social economic status. Okay, so it's really about those places that cannot access the US dollars, and there's a lot of them. So imagine that if we had to operate without the concept of US dollar, we had to use a currency that wasn't accepted in 99% of the world. There's a lot of places like that. So that's one of the biggest things these guys are trying to do. That's their mission, is to bring a stable currency to everyone in the world that they can use globally, regardless of the country or what type of social structure that they live in. Now on the vision, it says our vision is to be the world's trusted asset-backed digital currency that retains value and can be used everywhere by anyone every day. Okay, now that's one thing I want to make very clear here, guys. If you don't know about stablecoins, okay, most stablecoins like your USDT or BUSD, they're backed by the US dollar. And those US dollars are locked in a vault somewhere, and they say that yes, for every BUSD or USDT that's out there, we have $1 in the vault to back it. But here's the trick. Right now, we're in a global recession. The value of the US dollar is falling down. So what do you think that does to a stablecoin? I mean, ask you a question. Do you remember back when you could buy a gallon of gas for 99 cents? I do. But then again, I just filled my car up yesterday and it was almost $5 a gallon. So really ask yourself, how much is that American dollar still worth? Well, I want to show you something real quick about diamonds. Now, if we go over here to the price chart of diamonds, from 1960, a 1 carat diamond would cost about $2,700. 1970, $6,900. 80, $10,000. And so on and so forth, all the way up here to $30,000. But you notice something about this chart. Diamonds have done nothing but gone up over time. Has that happened to the US dollar? No, it hasn't. And that's why this is such an exciting protocol, because they're utilizing a physical asset that has proven over decades that it does not go down. It only goes up in value. So any protocol backed by a physical asset such as a diamond, I think has huge potential in my opinion. But you've got to decide for yourself. Let's go get some more information and try to answer that question number one. Now, for me, so far, this sounds really great. We've got a stablecoin. It's backed by diamonds. It's not going to lose its value. It's only going up. I mean, there's a lot of good things here so far, but we know the biggest problem with any cryptocurrency out there in the real world is how is it going to be utilized? How do you integrate that together, right? Because otherwise you have to have special wallets, special protocols, and if Bob doesn't have this wallet, he has to go install that one and all these different things. And that's one thing I like about the Diamondback group. They're already ahead of this. So it talks about here, the Diamondback Group is focused on creating real-world inclusionary financial payment solutions that bridge legacy systems with state-of-the-art digital ledgers. Okay, so they're talking the legacy system, the old credit card machines, things like that, bringing that and merging that with a new state-of-the-art blockchain technology. And they've already got that patent. They've already been building this. And please understand, this is not something that just started up a couple weeks or a couple months or even a year ago. These guys have been running literally for years. But the fact that they're already building these inclusionary systems to make sure that the DBK coin can be used pretty much anywhere is really a big event, because adoption here is key. So the real trick is, how do you get adopted? Well, any of us that are in business know the simple fact is business is really 10% what you know and 90% who you know. So it's all about your partnerships, your bonds, and how big of a network you have built. So let's go check out some of the partners real quick. So here on the Diamondback Trust Model Partners, we've got Gemological Institute of America, the world's premier grading services with respect to quality of the individual diamond placed in the diamond cubes. Next partner is Rappaport Group, premier wholesale diamond dealer, pricing model of diamonds based on their size, color, and clarity on each of the individual diamonds. The next one is Lloyd of London. We've all heard of them. Lloyd's is the leading insurance and reinsurance marketplace, providing insurance of the diamond cube assets. So then we scroll down here. Next one is Winchester Global Trust, independent third-party trustee administrator of the diamond assets. Next is Brinks Global Services. As we know, Brinks is a major security company worldwide, safeguarding diamond cubes in security vault facility. So these diamonds are going to be held in Brinks security facility, not on site or not in a bank. So that's a really good thing. And we've all heard of Brinks. They are absolutely the biggest security company worldwide. And the last is PricewaterhouseCoopers. Now, their advisory services for Diamondback and issuance audit of diamond assets held by Winchester Global Trust Service Provider. So these are some really big names in the partnership. And like I said, business is about who you know. Pretty good setup as far as who they partner with and the direction they're going with. Now, the last piece I want to cover real quick off the website is the timeline, because as we know in crypto, time moves so much faster. And so a long-term protocol in today's age is like around from 9 months to a year. I mean, that's like grandfathered in there. These guys have been running since 2019. And through that time, they built some amazing business partnerships, as well as been at a lot of different events and really built a lot of traction going forward. So I don't see any reasons why this won't take off, but I wanted to go through a couple of these high points that really stood out to me, and I want to share them with you. So the first one got on my radar was March of 2019. Diamondback engaged Winchester Global Trust for the trust services for DBK diamonds. Okay, so they already had a business model, a plan, all this in place. They went to Winchester Trust and said, hey, this is what we want to do. Will you be our trust company? So that tells me right there, they had to have started quite a while before March of 2019. That's just the first business partnership they have on their timeline. So I would say we're talking probably closer to 4 years or longer that this has been going on. I talked earlier about the legacy systems and how that's all going to be incorporated, right? Well, back in Q1 of 2021, Diamondback began filing multiple trademarks and patents for the DBK trust model and proprietary technologies. Now, this is that aspect that's going to make DBK utilized on any system worldwide. So there's no special wallets, and it only works, if your name's Bob and you go to this one special place in town, it's the only place that takes that crypto. No, these guys are really set up to be a worldwide, easily accepted currency anywhere you go. Now, the next one I'll point out here was in Q4 of 2022. It says integration with choice.com for Visa debit cards complete with EU bank approval. Now, that's a really big event. It's got the bank's approval to onboard with Visa credit cards. Now, the next source of information I want to share with you is the DBK Whitepaper. Now, this whitepaper is very detailed, precise, and well written. Unfortunately, that means it's also very lengthy. So we're not going to go through every piece of it. I'm going to put a link to it in the description down below. I highly recommend, if this project you're interested in, go in and read it thoroughly. Make sure you comprehend it. But there's some really critical bullet points I want to share with you to help really understand the concept behind DBK. So let's go get into it. So the first place we're going to start is right here at the beginning at the abstract, because the question is, why do we need a DBK, right? Well, this is going to tell us. It says the Diamondback DBK coin is a stable price payment coin that allows holders to connect payment solutions worldwide. Traditional finance systems in developing countries around the world have deprived approximately 2 billion people of the benefit of savings and wealth building. This is due to their local currencies declining by 10% or more of their value to the US dollar in 2018. DBK provide innovative access to something virtually everybody needs, money. The DBK coin enables an on-demand system that solves the current problems of traditional finance systems. The Diamondback ecosystem will be a trans-scalability bridge between traditional payments and the future blockchain-based systems because of the problems and market inefficiencies Diamondback tokens solve. The company expects massive demand for all types of people and businesses. So this is what I was talking about before, is there's a lot of countries out there that either cannot utilize their currencies worldwide, or their currencies have dropped so drastically that they have no wealth building. Now, this next section really kind of breaks that situation down in what problems does DBK solve. So the first one, owning DBK coins provides opportunity to receive more coins, which can offset inflation and grow coin holders' net worth, while traditional money decreases in value over time. Number two, DBK coins provides a payment and remittance medium for people who are currently excluded from the mainstream financial system. And number three, besides the fluctuating value of local fiat currencies, most often in a negative direction, the unbanked face a third challenge. Often a large portion of the money they receive in life, and in some cases the vast majority, is through international remittances from family members who work abroad. Exorbitant fees are routinely levied on these remittances, and family members frequently must wait for extended periods of time to receive their money. And number four, the DBK coin also solves the non-trivial problem of asset profitability, the lack thereof often having a major impact on these populations. So really a lot of this is trying to solve a problem of the world that hasn't been solved yet. Now, a lot of us are thinking, well, there's already stablecoins. Why do we need another one? What's the big deal? Well, on the fundamental analysis page, there's some great information to understand why the current stablecoins really aren't stable. So, back in 1944, this talks about essentially the world got together and agreed on the price of gold, and that it would have a 1% variation. And that way, when a dollar is pegged to gold, okay, it makes sense. It's within that 1% variation. But unfortunately, in 1973, an agreement was made between America and Saudi Arabia setting the price for oil. And essentially, we broke that contract and we said, nah, you know what? We're not going to honor that 1% anymore. We're going to let the dollar and gold just kind of float wherever we feel like it's going to go. And that's really the trick, is these are not held in banks, and this is not based off the US dollar. That's a really critical point here to understand. So the last place I want to cover is the long-term strategy, because as we know, this project's already been building for years, and it's got a strategy how to build for another decade at least. So let's jump into this real quick. It says, introducing the DBK coin to the market is the first step in a much grander strategy. Diamondback intends to grow its ecosystem organically through Diamondback Express, a membership-only club of consumers, merchants, vendors, and companies that agree and accept the value of DBK coin as $1 and use it as a payment coin for goods and services within the membership. Okay, so it's starting out organically by building a membership, and then from then building out to the world. So this is where we have to understand we're in that early stages of starting to build organically. That's why we haven't heard a lot about this, because there's not a lot of hype. There's not a lot of information out there. And unless you happen to be in the right place at the right time, these are those projects that go sliding under the radar for years. Then you hear about them going, well, why didn't I know about that? Well, now you do. So I think that covers most of the stuff on the white paper here real quick. Now I think it's really important to jump into question number 2, the who. Who are these people, and can we trust them? Let's go find out. Now, I believe who's behind a project is just as important as the project itself, in some cases even more so. Because even if you have a great project, if you can't trust the team or they don't have the experience to run that protocol, it's not going to do well. Or other way around. If you have a mediocre protocol but you have an amazing team, they can take that thing absolutely to the moon. So we've seen it go both ways, but the other thing I want to cover here is trust. If we can't see these people, talk to these people, know these people, are they really somebody we want to give our money to? So let's go find out who's behind the team of Diamondback. I want to go to the team section on the website. The first thing that pops up here is everyone has a picture. There's no GIFs, no images, no PFPs, none of that. It's all the people themselves. And by clicking on their image, we can immediately get a full-size picture of the person itself, as well as their reasoning and their education and experience. So I really like this. So William Eng is a CEO and co-founder. He's got multiple degrees in computer sciences, financial research management, and computer system management. Florida licensed insurance agent for life, health, and annuities. And there's his license number right there. KYC. I mean, this guy has a lot of experience looking through this. But let's keep going. Then we got Ingrida. It says Ingrid is the head of investment of a fintech accelerator focused on token and equity investments in decentralized technologies. Prior to that, for 15 years, she was the CEO of a nonprofit organization. So a lot of good experience here, and all in the investing and financing world. Peter Peng, CFO. Let's go learn about him. So Peter's got 35 years of international accounting, tax compliance, and corporate advisor experience to the team plus 12 years of professional working experience with the Big Four accounting firms, Ernst & Young, PricewaterhouseCoopers. I mean, these are big businesses. So right off the bat, the top 3 founders, you can see their pictures, you can get their full stories. Now, when we go down here to the group advisors, we've got the pictures and the images for each of these guys as well. So it's got all the information, but let's go a little bit deeper because each one of the founders has a LinkedIn identity. Let's go check it. So let's bring up Williams. So when it brings up Williams' identity here, gives his story, his background, says right there, CEO and founder, Diamondback Group, for the past 4 years and 2 months. Before that, a year on top of Diamondback founder. So you're looking at over 5 years right here. But now also going through LinkedIn, I can do a little more research. So if I keep scrolling down here, I can find out their education, as well as going down and find out about recommendations. Now to me, this is really critical. So William Morgenstein says, Bill has worked with me and for me in various capacities. Bill is a multifaceted, true professional. He is eloquent in both written and oral presentations, caring and extremely loyal to his customers, associates, friends, and family. So this is somebody who's been on here since 2011, and they're giving the references as well. And there's a lot of different connections. You can look at information and also all their network of people. So the fact that all the founders are doxed, we know their faces, we know their names, we can track them, we can track their business partners. To me, that really brings an added level of security that I don't get on a lot of protocols. So for me, this is really, really exciting to see that there's so much transparency and they're so confident about their project. They're not worried about putting out their business partners and who they've dealt with in the past. Now we can also go through Ingrid's profile as well as Peter's up here, read about him, learn about him. And it's great to see that there's digital footprint. And then I've dug in a little bit deeper on some of these and they do seem to line up pretty well. So I think that covers question number 2 fairly well. But the biggest thing is do your own research, make sure you're comfortable with these people. And you know what? I can't decide for you, so never listen to my advice. Always decide for yourself. Now that we've done most of our research, it's time to go ask that critical question, is this a project that's right for me? And is this a project that's right for you? Let's go find out. So up to this point, I really haven't covered anything about the ROI, the investment, or anything like that, because I believe it's very critical to get question 1 and question 2 answered without a shadow of a doubt before moving on. Otherwise, it tends to lead to FOMO and usually poor choices. But if you have made it through there, you've done your due diligence, and you really think this is the project for you, now we're going to find out how to invest and what it could potentially return. So if you've decided that you want to participate in Diamondback, here's the reward system and how it's going to work. The first thing is you're going to purchase Royal tokens. Now those can be purchased as a small lot as $500 worth up to $50,000 worth. But the minimum entry is $500 worth of BUSD, and we'll show that at the end. But what you're going to earn is 5% gross revenue from DBK's sales is dedicated to paying the Royal holders. The payouts to Royal holders are divided equally between the share of the total Royal sold. Meaning if there's 100 tokens sold and there's 10 buyers holding Royal tokens, then the revenue is split 10% per holder. Now those Royal tokens are going to pay out for 300 months or 25 years. So that is a real long time to continue to pay this revenue out. And so that's why I say it's such a huge amount of reward, but that also goes with a very high amount of risk. So you really have to know what you're doing before you get into this. Now, before we jump into the example projections here, I want to let you know on a couple of facts that exist in the market today. So in 2021, there was about $30 billion worth of stablecoins on the market. 2022, there's $185 billion worth of stablecoins. So you're talking a huge growth. We can only imagine what 2023 is going to be. So think of these numbers when we start going through these example projections, okay? So if you were to buy the $500 Royal token right now, that's going to put you in this column here. That means that to get a $5 return on that, we have to sell about $100,000 worth of DBK tokens. Well, that's not a whole lot in stablecoins, okay? If they were to sell 1 million DBK tokens, that's going to give you a $50 return. They sell 10 million tokens, that's going to give you your ROI. So 10 million is still not a lot when you're talking 185 billion on the market. Now, if they were to go to 100 million, that's going to give you a $5,000 return. If they go to 1 billion, that's going to give you a $50,000 return. And if they go to 10 billion, that's going to give you a $500,000 return on a $500 investment. So this has some huge potential out there. But like always, the higher the risk, the higher the rewards. Now, once you've gone back through all the information, read the white paper, all the details, you've done your due diligence, and you've slept on it for a night just to make sure you really know that this is the project you want to get into, it's going to be a really, really simple process to do. Simply go to dbk.finance website that you see on the screen here, connect your wallet, and then select how much Royal you'd like to purchase, anywhere from 500 BUSD worth to 50,000 BUSD. Enter that amount and purchase. Really simple. Now, one detail I do want to tell you about is the Royal tokens are a limited quantity. Now, I hope this information has been helpful introducing you to the Diamondback protocol. But if this is something you chose to invest in, and you did already, I got a special bonus for you. Once you've made your purchase, go in the Diamondback Discord, send a direct message to the moderator, and let them know you'd like to get a 10% bonus to your purchase. Yeah, simply DM them the code Serenity+10 to receive a 10% boost to your purchase amount of Royal tokens. So as we come to a close, I want you to realize this is not an all-inclusive video. There's still a couple things I have some questions on and would like to get some clarity on. So I've invited Robert from the Diamondback protocol to join us in the next week at a live AMA where we can jump in and really ask those hard questions. I figure that'll give you guys time to do your research so you can really get the best questions possible. So keep an eye on my YouTube and my Twitter where I'll be announcing that AMA date shortly. So as always, I want to thank you very much for your time. And until next time, have a good night.